Mr. Jabane, thank you for your time. Can you describe to us exactly what you found at the two sites?
Good morning to our viewers and listeners, and thank you for having us this morning. We have visited those temporary shelters that were organized by the Department of Home Affairs, Public Works, and the City of Cape Town. I think we must also appreciate the role that this Department of Home Affairs, City of Cape Town, and the Public Works have taken since the lockdown, since the 26th of March. The logistics, which were concerned on our arrival, is that there were no proper adherence to the regulation as been outlined by the Minister of Coxton.
I think it's just important, Mr. Jabane, at this point, before I ask you the next question, to remind viewers that we're actually talking about the very same refugees, or in large part, that spent months inside the Central Methodist Church down in the Cape Town CBD. They were protesting at the UN offices. I'm sure many viewers remember the story of these refugees at that church. The majority of them is what we're talking about. Have you received complaints from them about their current living conditions? Is that what prompted you to go and take a look?
Remember when we met on the 8th of March to deal with the issue of refugees in Cape Town and those that were in Pretoria? It was as a result of their conduct that has to undermine the Constitution of the Republic and the rule of law within the Republic. And you know that they've attacked the clergy in Pretoria. And we met as a committee to reflect on their conduct, because it's unusual for any member of the states to come and disrespect the Constitution of any other country. And we've taken that decision that they must be reintegrated in our communities, or the process of deportation. So unfortunately, that period, since the lockdown, there was no movement. All of us, as you know, that were on lockdown, and there could not have been movement. We had to adhere to the regulations as has been outlined. Now that is a level one, and our movement were engaged with this matter. The Department of Home Affairs is now on the ground to do verification on the people who are in the two temporary sites. What are the concerns that it raised is on the issues that obviously they've been that they want to be moved to other country, which is not our responsibility, and we can't be dictated to which country they must move on. Secondly, is obviously the condition that we ourselves have observed, which themselves they've created. You know that on the 8th of March, there was a particular number that was reported to us and by the Home Affairs, which was counted on the refugees. And now since then, there have been increase of numbers, which contribute to the condition that they are living on.
I understand it's not necessarily the responsibility of the South African government to find these refugees a country to go to, because they're not wanting to return back to their home countries for various reasons, whether it's politics or violence or the financial situations, the economic situations. But where do you land on the moral obligation of at least assisting these helpless people to try and go to where they want to go? Have you had discussions with the refugees on the ground? Are you at least willing to assist them, even if you don't have to from a legal perspective? Surely there's a moral obligation.
Remember, our government, there are policies that regulates on how they must assist refugees or people from outside countries. If you go throughout our country, if you go to villages far north in Limpopo, in Madimbo, there are foreign nationals, brothers and sisters who have been residing in our communities, complying to the Constitution of the Republic, the bylaws of the municipalities. If you go to Mpumalanga, in Hazyview, then go to Guyana. So all over the country, we have all our brothers and sisters who are compliant to the regulation. I think on this matter, we have came to the conclusion that because of the non-cooperation and undermining of the Constitution of the Republic, remember we're signatories of UN protocols, and the United Nations recognize our constitutions, respect our constitutions. So our view is that all member states, members who come to the country must be able to subject themselves to the rule of law. But we are hence we're saying that there must be two processes which we have resolved on, and we're reaffirming that position of the committee of reintegrating those brothers and sisters or members from other countries or entering in the process of deportation, which we have communicated to the Department of Home Affairs and the United Nations that deals with refugees. I think that's our position. But morally, as we're indicating, is that government and our people have been accepting our fellow African brothers and sisters from outside the country who complies and who have went through the process that Department of Home Affairs regulate in terms of the responding to the request of all members who are entering our country.
All right, Mr. Chabane, I'm going to say thank you very much indeed for taking time to speak to us this morning.